ever noticed something kind of funny, something really interesting about American politics of late? Well, it seems like our friends, the Democrats, the ones who are always saying that Donald Trump thinks he's above the law and keeps violating it, but yet in reality, well, it turns out the Democrats who keep getting in trouble with the law. Now, it's been a pretty big week on that front, so let's get into some examples of this, shall we? Let me introduce you to Boston Sheriff Stephen Tompkins, seen here back at the height of the George Floyd crisis.
This, my good brothers and sisters, is our Rosa Parks moment. This is our moment where we're saying enough is enough and we're not going to take it anymore. But the beautiful thing about this moment, it's not just black and brown people saying that. It's white, yellow, red, young, old, physically challenged, LGBT, you name a group.
Well, Boston, which Tompkins was, and I say was in the past tense for a reason, in charge of policing, was, of course, one of America's most famous sanctuary cities. And all year has been doing everything it could under Donald Trump to keep criminals, pedophiles, and gangbangers from actually being deported, happily, not always successfully. Well, guess what? It seems that the sheriff has been a bit of a naughty boy himself, having been arrested in Florida this week on federal charges stemming from an alleged attempt to extort money and sort his way into a stock offering for a cannabis company. According to the news reports, quote, according to federal court documents, Tompkins, the guy we saw before, had used his position as sheriff to force his way into buying pre-IPO stock in a Boston cannabis company at a discounted price. When the investment later lost values, prosecutors allege the sheriff demanded and received a full refund of his money. Yes, as he said, I guess that's a real Rosa Parks moment there, wasn't it? But, it's not just the sheriff who is in trouble. California Democrat Adam Schiff, one of Donald Trump's greatest foes in Congress, we've always known him as Shifty Schiff. Well, here's a little refresher from when he led the House impeachment case against the president the last time around, and he got a little choked up about it.
He's guilty. Is there really any doubt about this? Do we really have any doubt about the facts here? Does anybody really question whether the president is capable of what he's charged with? No one is really making the argument Donald Trump would never do such a thing. Because of course we know that he would, and of course we know that he did. Because right matters. Because right matters. And the truth matters. Otherwise we are lost.
Very, very moving stuff there, Adam Schiff. And here he was more recently on the Stephen Colbert Show with an unambiguous message about the president.
Well, let me just say this, in case I was ambiguous. The president, as you know, has been going after me within the last couple of days. Ever since I led his first impeachment, he's threatened me with jail and prosecution and called me a traitor, accused me of treason, blah, blah, blah. He coerced Republicans into censuring me in the House, and now the latest attack on me. So I just want to direct this, if this is the right camera, or maybe that's the right camera.
That's the right camera right there.
Donald, piss off.
They cheered, but how the worm turns, you see, because Schiff himself is now being investigated for mortgage fraud. The claim is complicated, but it involves allegations that Schiff allegedly declared his home state as California, as well as declaring Maryland his home state for purposes of mortgages and taxes and so on. So it's fairly complicated and naughty, allegedly. But here, if you look at your screen, here's a mortgage document Schiff signed for the Maryland house that he has, which he uses when he's in Washington, declaring that that is his primary residency. And there you see the house on your screen. Lovely. But despite what he put on the forms, here's what he's had to say on TV about where his real primary residence is, or at least was when he said this back in 2023.
But our principal residence, our primary residence is in California. It always has been and always will be.
Yeah, this just feels like when the Democrats love to say the old saying, no one is above the law. Well, let's find out about that. Meanwhile, when it comes to protecting democracy, or rather our democracy, as the left likes to say, there's quite a little standoff going on in Texas right now, where Governor Greg Abbott has been trying to put forward a bill to redraw the state's congressional districts. Now, it's a move that would see the Democrats likely lose a number of congressional seats, such as this one in San Antonio, which have been drawn in all sorts of crazy ways to advantage the Democrats. But instead of doing what they're paid to do, i.e. debate and vote on legislation, Texas Democrats have gone on the run to make sure there's not enough legislators around on hand to hold a vote. It's called a quorum. Here's one of them.
This is State Representative James Tallarico from Texas. If you're seeing this video, my Democratic colleagues and I have just left our beloved state to break quorum and stop Trump's redistricting power grab.
If it was Rowan here, I'd be playing the man on the run clip, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to note that the hilarious thing about that is the Texas legislators have flown the coop to Illinois, a state that, let's just say, knows a thing or three about rigging votes for the Democrats, if you know what I mean. And I think you do. But they still can't hide out forever. The FBI is apparently now chasing them down. The Texas State House has cut their office operating expense entitlements. And if they want to get paid, these legislators, well, here's what the local news reports.
House Speaker Dustin Burrows announced any lawmaker who broke quorum will have to collect their monthly paycheck in person. That means the House Democrats who are out of state will not receive their payment through direct deposit until they return to the state capitol.
No direct deposit for you guys. Well, you've asked me, if you're not showing up for work, you shouldn't get paid at all, check deposit or whatever. But anyway, there's the Democrats for you. Gotta love them. If it wasn't for double standards, they'd have no standards at all. And that's a truth bomb.